It's warm in here.
What's up, everybody? It's the Fantasy Dads. You here with Seamus Moose Anderson, as always. Kevin Smirks Davis, Drew. Kev, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm good, Moose. We good. Had a crazy week of football.
Yeah,
It went bonkers.
I would say so. I don't know how your week went in regards to fantasy, but mine was blown up by multiple games. Had some overachievers, had some underachievers. Yeah, rough week for you, boy, man. I went 2-5 in all my leagues. I had Myles Gaskin on 4 benches. Yeah, it's not been good. Michelangelo, welcome to the chat, buddy. Thanks for joining the show. Make sure you hit that like and share button. I'm sure you did already. If I didn't see it, he said Dawson Knox is a GOAT. That's a fact. He'll probably finish top 5 at this point. So yeah, Kev, how did your weekend go with fantasy, man?
3. I want to say 3 and 4. It's how every week's been going, man. It hasn't been great.
No,
I got a couple teams that are just bottom of the barrel, and then I have some that are pretty decent. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to just hold out hope that those 3 they'll get me through this year, and the rest. One of them I can kiss goodbye completely. I might not even set a lineup anymore. It's toast.
No, Kev, no, you can't do that.
Yo, it's toast. You've seen it.
Is that our legacy league?
Yeah, you've seen it.
It's tough.
I can't keep going like that. Dropping everybody.
Michelangelo, Samuel, welcome back, man. Thanks for joining. Michelangelo said Kev is about to yardage his team to the highest bidder.
For real.
Yeah,
real. Devante Adams, I have to put him on the block.
Probably might just have to offer this guy some years.
He scored half of my points this week, pretty much.
Who did?
Adams.
Oh no, that's no good. Close. Anyways, we'll get right into it. If you guys have any waiver questions, you have any trade questions, you have any questions at all, let us know throughout the show. As usual, if you have some time during the show, definitely go check out our TikToks and our TikTok and Twitter and Instagram. Everything's at the Fantasy Dads. Fairly easy to find. And let's jump right into it, Kev. I'll explain a little bit about what we're going to be talking about here, and then we'll get into it. So we're going to go through the news and injuries. Obviously, there were a ton this weekend. I don't think there was a single person that maybe wasn't implicated somehow with an injury. And then we'll go through the waiver priorities, and then we'll do a little buy low, sell high. I think we should probably just about cover it after all is said and done. We have a lot to talk about throughout the show. If you're noticing that my voice is still crap, then you're probably hearing correctly. It's been a week and a half since the Bucs game, and I'm still recovering. So hopefully it'll be back fully soon. I got some tea with honey here. So while Smirks is giving out the injuries, I'm gonna sip on that. So why don't you go ahead, Smirks? News and injury update, buddy.
Move up those vocal cords, my man. That's it. Gonna get ready. Well, the first thing is before we get into the injuries, we just talk about John Gruden real quick. Yeah, he's a scumbag, but it took the NFL 10 years to release the emails, though, which is suspect. And you want to know why none of the Washington football team ownership or employees have been, why John Gruden just seems to be the scapegoat. Fucked up as everything he put out there was, there's so much more that the NFL needs to do. Clearly. We got an interim coach over there. I think that team, after the 3-0 start, is going to do what the Raiders always do. They're just imploding from the inside out. But maybe it'll be a good thing. Who knows? Maybe I always thought he was kind of overrated as a coach anyway.
Oh, yeah, he's junk, dude. He took Tony Dungy's ring away from him.
Yeah, so
yeah. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised to see Tony Dungy talking trash about him today. Why would that surprise you? He took a team that Tony Dungy built and he won a Super Bowl with them. John Gruden's always been a trash bag. I think we all knew he was a trash bag, but to this extent, 10 years later, I don't think it's up to anybody to say, is it fair that he was fired for comments made 10 years ago? I think somebody that's making those comments 10 years ago and is in more of a position of power now, I wouldn't doubt if he's saying the same thing now.
Yeah,
So
fuck him, bro.
yeah,
Fuck
I
'em.
don't give a shit. No, there's no skin off my teeth for John Gruden. I don't feel
I
bad
don't
for
feel
that dude
bad.
at all.
No.
No, the guy's a
I
scumbag.
certainly don't feel bad.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's hop in.
Free Josh Jacobs maybe though.
It might be a good thing for Josh Jacobs. Maybe they'll punt. He actually looked pretty good this week, though. They gave
He
him
did.
some work.
He did. They did.
That Kenyon Drake contract looks worse and worse every week. But anyway, we're going to hop in some big ones this week. Saquon, again, back on the injury report. Low ankle sprain. Probably going to miss at least a week or two. He avoided the break, but that thing blew up fast. He was swelling up quick on the sidelines
Within seconds.
like a baseball. Clyde Edwards-Helaire placed on IR with a sprained MCL. That's big news for my guy Darryl Williams. Clyde had like 2 decent games this year. The rest was trash. So you're gonna be without him for a few weeks, but that might be a good thing. Tyreek Hill, minor knee injury, not expected to miss time. Juju, he dislocated his shoulder, and there was a tear in his labrum that was bad enough to require surgery. His season is over. I think it's just you only want Deontay or Claypool. You don't want to get cute and think James Washington's going to be a thing, or they just signed Anthony Miller to the practice squad. I wouldn't.
I'll forget it.
I wouldn't be too interested in that.
Nope. Maybe Freiermuth though.
It could maybe an uptick there. Neither of those tight ends have really.
Yeah, no.
Kind of
They
thing.
might let the Muth loose though.
Yeah, I think we may just see Najee Harris continue to get like 15 targets a game.
God.
That's all Ben can muster up right now with his arm. Honestly, that Claypool touchdown looked pretty nice. Maybe he's getting some zip back on the ball. We'll see.
Maybe.
Cardinals tight end Max Williams. That was a gruesome looking injury if you saw it. The guy right into the knee. The knee is not supposed to go that way. Season ending knee injury. Andy Holloway tweeted they expect them to be active in the trade market looking for a tight end because Williams was being heavily targeted.
He was having a career year. Yeah.
He was indeed.
Yeah, pretty upset for the guy. He kind of came out of nowhere. I don't think most people ever heard of him. And now his season and possibly career is like over just like that.
That was not good. Did not look good. Tyrod Taylor not ready to return yet. Davis Mills eviscerated the New England Patriots defense a week after being destroyed by the Buffalo Bills defense. I don't know what to make of any of that. Don't start Davis Mills this week, though.
Real quick, before you continue, I just want to say, so on my dynasty, in our dynasty league, I have Daniel Jones, who I started until he looked like a baby giraffe after that concussion. That was bad. Ryan Tannehill was on my bench. Justin Fields was on my bench. And then who else but Davis Mills
on the taxi squad?
No, not even. He's on my bench.
You promoted him? He got the promotion?
Because I have Kyle Trask on the taxi squad because I don't know what to do with him.
Man, you got QBs for days over there, huh?
Yeah, but I just didn't know what to do. But out of all 4 of those guys, Davis Mills is the one I should have started. What a joke.
It doesn't make any sense. I'm hoping the Patriots kind of like they were just gassed after that tough fought Bucs game and kind of overlooked the Texans. But I mean, I thought this team after that Bucs game could go out there and maybe win 9 games this year at least, but not with that kind of performance.
Nope.
No way. Christian McCaffrey hopeful to return this week. The Panthers did release Rodney Smith off the roster, so
yeah,
seemingly clearing McCaffrey's roster spot. We hope. Hopefully he's back. Damian Harris said to be all good after exiting twice with a rib chest injury. I would still be interested in possibly adding Ramondre. Ivan Fears came out today and said they really want to get this kid going. He ran a little timid the beginning, his first few carries this week. Yeah. But Harris is still He's going to be fine. Quintez Cephas. That man suffered a broken collarbone, could be out for the year.
I mean, probably, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't. I wouldn't even know. I said Khalif Raymond could be a sneaky play this week. He had 2 targets, 0 catches. Stay away. Stay away. I mean, Amon-Ra's on the waiver list, but I'm just gonna stay away from everybody but Swift at this point.
Okay.
Even Hawkinson, 3 weeks in a row, he hasn't done anything. It's brutal over there.
Yeah,
Dan Campbell crying at the podium. That man's letting it all out, though.
God.
Players should rally around that. That's good.
Oh, should they?
I guess.
I don't
know.
know.
I don't know. That was
I'm
great.
not saying grown men can't cry, but in a locker room, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm buying. I don't know if
And
they're buying that.
he wants the players. They played their hearts out. He wanted them to get a dub, and they just couldn't pull it out. Heartbreaking stuff. We'll see how it goes for the Lions.
What are you gonna do?
They're gonna have a top 3 pick.
Real quick, Kev, we did have a question from Bobby D. DeCarlo. Welcome back to the show, buddy. Thanks for joining. He said, "What up, fellas? With the lack of targets Cooks got this week, should I put Pittman over Cooks in my flex? Had a bad loss this week, 2-3. I don't even. Are you playing Cooks against Indianapolis? Or are you playing Pittman against Houston?
I'm gonna say this. I like Pittman a lot after the week he just had, and honestly, 3-4 weeks in a row now. But if we watched any of that game last night, we saw that. I think his name is fucking Bo Peep. Bo Peep, the corner for the Colts, like they can't cover anybody, dude. They're down like 3 starting corners. Bo Peep got out. He was roasted by Hollywood
That
Brown.
dude's name is not Bo Peep.
Guy's name is fucking Bo
No,
Peep. Look it up.
Bo Peep? No way.
Peep. Dude, they can't cover anybody. Brandon Cooks, he could eat this week. I'm gonna say if there's any week you want to get back into Brandon Cooks for the bounce back game, this might be the one.
Yeah, I think so
these
too.
guys come back, unless their corners come back. If Rock Ya-Sin and if Xavier Rhodes is all right, I know he left the game with like a concussion, but I mean he's toast now too. It's not good for them. Not good.
I can't get over Bo Peep.
His name was Bo Peep, dude. You're gonna have to go back and watch that
unreal.
play. The guy said his name like 3 times as he
Unreal.
got torched.
Yeah, no, I'm going Brandon Cooks on this. It's probably like a 70-30 split for me over Pittman. Like you said, they got eviscerated this week. And I did read something from Ryan Weiss of the Football Guys this week. He's a pretty well-known dude. He's been probably like the number 3 to 5 accuracy standards goes like in this industry. He's been like between 3 and 5 all year. And he has Brandon Cooks as the number 3 overall wide receiver for the week at this point, right? So that could change.
That's because he just watched what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
The Bo Peep Keats or whatever his name is. He was like, oh, all right.
Are you kidding? Bo Peep
Keats is something with a K. I'm going to have to go back and look up his name. But
we're going to have to look that up because that's ridiculous.
I'll get you an actual name real quick. As soon as the injuries are done, I'll pull it up for you. All right, let's get back into it. Joey Burrow, Joey Franchise, they call him. He got knocked out of the game. He got hit real hard. He should have slid. But he finished the game.
Yeah.
He was a trooper. Went to the hospital with a throat contusion.
Yeah.
I've never seen this injury before in my life, and there was 2 of them this week. The rookie linebacker, Owosu Koromora for the Browns, also went to the hospital with a throat contusion.
What?
So that's strange. I guess there's a first for everything. They're saying he should be good to go this week, and he gets the Lions. Curtis Samuel week to week, same thing, groin. He keeps coming back, leaving games. If it's a hernia, whatever he's got going on, it's not healing properly. They may need to just shut him down. Samaje Perine placed on the COVID list. Joe Mixon is healthy, so it doesn't really matter too much. Kenny Golladay, once again, expected to miss week 6. He hyperextended his knee, couldn't play through it.
Yeah.
Toast. He's toast this year, at least, with that team. Trey Lance, they're on a bye this week, but he could miss time due to a sprained knee. I would think Garoppolo will be back after the bye. I think they're probably both going to be healthy enough to play after the bye, and it's just going to be a matter of who Kyle Shanahan wants to start. And Trey Lance, while he has some promise, he's not ready. I don't think he's ready anyway. Dallas Goedert placed on the COVID reserve list. Zach Ertz going to be a great play this week. I think I would have him ranked as like a tight end 1 against the Bucks. Tua Tagovailoa designated to return from the IR, so he should be back soon. Kadarius Toney, after his career day, he is not expected to be suspended, but Joe Judge said what he did was not acceptable. And I think it's the kind of spark that team needs, and Joe Judge is kind of an idiot. But if there's any kind of discipline for Toney, it's probably going to come from the coach, not the league. Joe Judge is the kind of coach that would just sit down his best player for throwing a punch, and like they'll trot out CJ Board, give CJ Board 12 targets next week. That's that Joe Judge for you. I really wouldn't shock me.
No, it wouldn't at all.
And then Specs, Rodrigo Blankenship. I don't know what was going on with him last night. He was warming up, then he didn't come out for the field goal.
Yeah.
Then he did come out for a field goal. He hit the field goal. Then he's on the floor talking to himself, sitting all spread out. Then he gets one blocked, misses another one. I mean, it was just a roller coaster of a day for him. We'll have to see how that goes this upcoming week. They may be in the market for a kicker. And that's it, dude. I think we hit them all.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we did. Rodrigo absolutely screwed me last night.
That was tough, man.
I lost in our league record by 2.5 points. Tony Kane. To be fair, like I was nervous going into Monday night, but I thought I had it won. And Hollywood Brown caught the game-winning touchdown in overtime. So, yeah, Rodrigo is now officially on my shit list. He's down bad. I'm down bad. We can be down bad together. But listen, with specs like this, man, with specs like you can't miss field goals. Like you ain't no way, boy. Ain't no way, boy.
Darius Slay tweeted that.
Yeah,
it's no way you're missing kicks with glasses like that on. And
it's no way. It's
hey, man,
no way,
I pulled it up. So it ain't Bo Peep like little Bo Peep. It is Bo Peep.
Bo Peep.
Bo Peep Keys.
Oh, man,
and that's not his real name. His real name is Thacarius.
Is what? Zacharias?
Thacarius. Bo Peep.
That's a pretty cool name.
He's 23. It's in his second year, and he got absolutely torched by Hollywood Brown. So that solves that mystery.
All right. Bo Peep. Otherwise known on this show as Bo Peep.
Bo Peep.
All right, great. I think one thing I wanted to talk about quick from this list, because obviously we're gonna cover most of anybody that got majorly like a major injury. We're gonna cover their waiver priority. But you're not like, even if Trey Lance didn't miss time, like you weren't playing him this past weekend, right? Because he just doesn't look comfortable yet. Like I think I'd probably start, especially with like Kittle out. Like even if he does come back, I'm not playing him.
Well, they're on a bye anyway.
Oh, that's true. But if he misses some time, Rhino asked us a question. Jeez, do we stash Tyrell Williams? I'm not sure if I'm stashing him yet. I mean, even though Khalif Raymond did absolutely nothing this past weekend, he's still been in usage. If you can get a part of Amon-Ra St. Brown, who we're going to talk about in a bit, I'd probably stash him first. But Tyrell's been hurt most of the year.
Kind of like a Kenny Golladay, right? Dude. He's going to go out there and something else is going to go wrong.
That's super.
Am I being
super
rude?
pessimistic?
Am I wrong though?
Are you just being a skeptic? I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
how I feel about it. It's just how I feel. I'm sorry, Tyrell Williams.
Yeah.
Just how I
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah, Rhino. No, Cephas is hurt, but that team is also just like, I mean, it's poop.
I mean, St.
That
Brown's
team is
been
poop.
getting plenty of targets. Raymond had targets the past 2 weeks, but I mean, no one's really doing anything with them. They're getting some targets, and that's about it.
Yeah. Big T's in the house. What up, Big T? Let's go. Yeah, listen, I mean, I'm not like against stashing a dude who, has a chance to catch some balls. I'm not against it. But at the same time, I just don't know if I'm quite with it.
I don't know if it's worth it. It depends on what you're getting rid of.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you
I
have like Ronald Jones still kicking around.
Yeah. Yeah,
Out of the
I
league,
don't know.
but he's probably someone you're not going to end up playing anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Rhino, you're exactly right. Game scripts could be in line for him.
They
He's
have
out
been
with
all year,
a
but their
concussion. Yeah.
their receivers haven't done anything yet.
Yeah, I'm just not so sure I'm, like, gonna go out and grab him and play him, though. So, yeah, you could I guess you could stash him. Yeah, you could stash him. If you have some room and you don't like the way your bench is looking, sure, I think you could. Also, Kev, I hope you can still see me. My, computer has pretty much completely crashed.
I
Other
got
th
you.
Alright, cool. Other than just
I
working.
still see you.
So yeah. All right, great. So, Kev, I'm gonna need your help a little bit since my Google Chrome has decided to not work in the past 30 seconds. But I can see most of the list here. First off, if you're on the show, thank you for joining again. Um, like, share, comment, go follow our socials. We're blowing up on TikTok still. Kev had a video that went over 100,000 in the past couple of days. We just keep it going. So make sure to follow us on TikTok. Uh, we're at the Fantasy Dads on everything: Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. So go follow our stuff. Again, thank you for the over 1,100 people that have followed us so far. It's been just under a couple of months since we started the gig on TikTok. So it's going pretty well, I'd say. All right. In regards to the importance of tonight and tomorrow, we got the waiver priority, Kev.
Yes,
And
sir.
why don't you start us out with your boy Darryl Williams?
Darryl.
CEH is being put on the IR, and so he will be out for at least 3 weeks. And I don't know. At this point, I don't know how many people are actually going to miss him. So why don't you get right into it with Darryl Williams, man?
Right. I'm gonna say Darryl. Every time he's called upon, kind of does an admirable job. I mean, admirable job.
Admirable.
Admiral. He's an admiral. Admiral Darryl Williams. That's the
I like
admiral.
that.
That's what I'm gonna call him now.
The Admiral. All right.
Yeah, he does like a fine job filling in whenever he gets a chance to the limited carries that he gets. So it should be his role with us. Jerick McKinnon getting some passing down work. So Jerick is definitely an ad for a deeper league, or if you miss out on Darryl, go ahead and add Jerick McKinnon. But it'll definitely be Williams getting the bulk of the carries on a high-powered offense. And that role hasn't really been great for Clyde. He's had 2 good games out of 5, but you never know. You never know how it could go here. Darryl is definitely the priority ad with a decent matchup coming up and a pissed off Patrick Mahomes. So that would be the number one easily, I would say. And then right behind him would be the other running back whose starter just got hurt again. It'd be Devante Booker, right, Moose?
Yeah, without a doubt. And I agree with everything you said about Darryl. He's a must add. He's almost an immediate RB2 if you're in a deep enough league, just because of the offense he's in. The next one on the book is Devante Booker. Now we don't know if Daniel Jones is going to miss a week. If he's not going to miss a week, I'm not quite sure what's going to happen yet. But Devante Booker was already getting snaps. I don't have his exact snap count, in front of me here, but I know that he was already getting some. So they obviously trust him, and Saquon is going to definitely be out for the next 2 weeks at least, right? Like in terms of fab, I'm definitely going to spend more to get Darryl Williams than I am Devante Booker, just because we don't quite know the severity of CEH's injury yet. So I'm not sure, but I would probably spend about 10 to 15% more for Darryl Williams than I would Devante Booker, but still, even if Mike Glennon does play, right? Like if it's Mike Glennon that has the throne out there, like they're gonna run the ball. Like I don't foresee them like trying to throw for like 350 with Mike Glennon. The guy's trash. So yeah, Devante Booker is the next guy up. And I feel like he is owned in a fair amount of leagues. Again, I don't have the percentage, but um yeah, for fab on Devante Booker, I'd probably spend about 10% less.
He's 12% rostered on Sleeper. I think it's even a little bit less than that on ESPN right now.
Okay.
He managed to score 2 touchdowns this week though, and
He
they were
did.
playing from behind, so he's definitely someone you got to target if he's still available. Tough matchups coming up though. These next 2 weeks with the Rams and Carolina. Not
Yeah.
ideal, especially if Daniel Jones can't go this week against the Rams. That could just be a bloodbath over there for Mike Glennon. And then there's another giant next on the list. Kadarius Toney, he absolutely popped off. He made Trayvon Diggs look silly a few times. He gets in and out of his breaks and can just change direction. Like it's kind of ridiculous what he can do. And he caught some downfield contested balls. Like he was all over the place, man. People in the industry were low on him coming in, basically because of his breakout age at Florida. But he looks really good. I don't think it's something they're just going to go away from. Galladay, I don't even know what to think about him. He's going to miss a week. He'll come back. He'll hurt himself again. Shep, he's been known to be fragile, but he is the favorite target there. I think when he comes back, he kind of still will be. But at worst, Toney should be the number 2. He should be playing over Darius Slayton. There's no reason Darius Slayton should be getting work over him. So at worst, if Kadarius Toney is the number 2 target and Daniel Jones is back and healthy, he's an every week flex. With what we saw the last 2 games.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree. I think you do have to add him if he's not added already. Although I think in the last week, dude, he was like a top 3 added dude.
Yeah, he's
I
still
mean,
really low.
yeah. I mean, he
But
finished the wide receiver 29.5 PPR the week before. And then and that was in half PPR, but the wide receiver 7 for this week too. I just don't know with Shepard and Slayton and Galladay out, like can this continue for him, you think? Like you think they're gonna lean on him now? Because I'm not so sure they're that smart. I just don't think they are.
especially he punched a guy in the helmet, and I already talked about Joe Judge not being the best football coach. They might try to punish him a little bit. I'm not
They
sure
could.
exactly what they'll try to do, but I think Shepard comes back this week. I think they said he was closer than Slayton was, and
Yeah.
he would probably slot right back in as the first read. But Galladay's going to miss. And if
Yep.
Slayton doesn't come back, Toney is at worst the number 2 target in that offense. That's going to be just throwing.
Yeah.
They're going to need to come. And it's kind of different from the Lions situation because we've seen him blow up. We've already seen it with what was going on over there is they're running their offense through DeAndre Swift. This is a little different. So I think there can be some value there. I really hope when Slayton comes back, they don't just sit the kid down and like waste him away playing behind Darius Slayton. But we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't disagree. Real quick, Uncle Alex is in the house. He went off on me in our legacy league yesterday. Mark Andrews had like 1.5 million points, and he just crushed my soul. I needed him to score less than 3, which we've seen happen before, and I was like, yeah, there's some hope. But then he had literally the best day of his entire career. So,
Oh,
welcome in, Alex. Good match this week, buddy. Congrats on the win. Your team's just absolutely killing it. Feel free to trade away everybody so that we can beat you.
I lost by 100.
You what?
So yeah, I lost by 100.
Oh, no.
So that team,
No.
I may never even look at it again. That's where I'm at.
Oh,
But
it's
Kadarius
bad.
Toney, on a brighter note, me and Rye all Sunday morning, I mentioned his name at least 4 or 5 times on the show. I know I wasn't alone. The industry was high on him. He was in everybody's DFS lineups, but I got one right.
You
I
did.
got one right, and I did start him in a league as well. It worked out. I mean, I lost, but he did well.
I fucking
I
hate
played
fantasy
I
football.
played against Mike Evans and studs. It happens, dude. It happens. You can have a
It's
good
just one
week
of
and
those
still
weeks.
get blown out. Yeah, there was fantasy points, like a hurricane of fantasy points rained down this week. It was
Yeah.
wild. I haven't seen a week like this all year. This was crazy.
No, it's been a while since we've seen something like this go off. In a week too, where like Laviska Shenault gets like 3 targets. Dan Arnold leads the
Yeah.
Jags in receiving. Yeah, that was rough. But Rhino did put something in the chat. He said, thought this was interesting. It's from TikTok. Somebody said, should I trade away Kareem Hunt and Zach Moss for Josh Jacobs, Jamar Chase, and Henry Ruggs?
No.
Shite. You don't think so?
Say it again.
Kareem Hunt and Zach Moss, and he gets Josh
Um,
Jacobs, Jamar Chase, and Henry
I
Ruggs.
mean, Chase kind of makes it really, really interesting, but I want to hold on to Kareem Hunt.
Do you? You don't think he's a sell high right now?
Dude, it's been 5 weeks, and
Yeah.
he's just every 4 out of the 5, he scored at least 1 touchdown, and he's splitting. I mean, Chubb will always get a few more carries, but why? He's a top running
If
back.
you can get an RB1 for him, are you trading him? I don't know if I'm doing that for Josh Jacobs.
I don't
I'm
like
not saying
Jacobs.
I
I love
necessarily.
Chase, but
Yeah, but if he's desperate for, Kareem Hunt was ADP like 5th, 4th to the 6th round, 5th round, I'd say, right?
the way
It
that
depends
team
on
is
how you.
operating right now, I want Kareem Hunt
That's fair. Okay,
over Josh Jacobs for sure. It's just,
without a doubt.
and Zach Moss is a clear lead back there right now as well.
That's true. Yeah, that's a sketchy situation though. I don't
So
know how much I
it depends
trust it.
how desperate this guy is for a wide receiver. Like, does he really need Jamar Chase that bad to just give up 2 running backs? Like, I'd have to see the rest of his roster. But yeah, for me, that's a no. I don't think. I would say that's a
Okay.
no.
I'd probably say no if that was me. I probably wouldn't give up 2 running backs for
Right, with the
one
way the running
one
backs have been
wide
getting hurt.
receiver I'm gonna immediately drop. One I'm gonna start every week, and then Josh Jacobs, who I won't know what to do with after this John Gruden situation.
Right.
But it could free him. Who knows? Rhino said Donovan Peoples-Jones had his first good day. Yes, he did. We're very happy for you, Rhino. We know that you were
Give
very
him a
high on DPJ. Yes, bravo. We also know you have more than a beer bet on his 50 catches this year. So let's hope for your
That was a
sake that
big
happens.
step in the right direction. 5 for 70 on 6 targets. And Beckham, I asked at least 4 or 5 times during that game, like, was he even out there?
I don't know.
That's crazy, dude.
Like in a game where they scored 42 points, no turnovers.
It's just crazy to me, like, how the kind of turn his career took. It's
It
weird.
turned quick.
It's
It went
man.
quick.
It's really, really weird. But
Yeah.
anyways, DPJ might be on the come up, Rye. That's huge.
Yeah, he might be. Let's continue with our waiver priority here, because if you don't have a top 3 waiver priority, Like these are the guys. Those are the guys that are gonna go. Darryl Williams, Kadarius Toney, Devante Booker. One of my good friends last week asked me. I had to tell you this because it was like the most ridiculous thing. Some people just like don't don't want to listen or don't think I know stuff about fantasy. And listen, my teams won't always prove it. I'll be the first to admit that I draft different teams. I drafted 7 teams, right? They're not all going to go as planned. I'll be the first to admit some of my teams absolutely suck. I have 2 teams right now that are 1-4. Like it's not good, right? And then I think I have 3 or 4 teams that are 2-3, right? So it's not always going to be good. But what I will say is that during the season, though I won't win every single platform I play in, I still love to give advice. I still always love when people ask me like, "Hey man, like they see me first time in a while like, "Hey, I saw you doing that thing. That fantasy show. I watched it the other week. What do you think about this?" Like I love this stuff. But I told some kid, I'm interested in Dawson Knox. I said, "Great. You have the number 1 waiver priority. Pick up Dalton Schultz and we can talk." He goes up and he picks Jawan Johnson with the number 1 waiver priority, and I was like,
Wait,
"Bro," I was
which
like, "I
one
would
could
have."
he? You just said Dawson Knox and Dalton Schultz. Which one could he? Was it that he was
So
actually?
I have Dawson Knox, right?
Ah, okay.
He said after this week I might be interested in him. I said, "Great, because I know I can sell him high as hell. I can get Dalton Schultz from him. That's guaranteed. And then I can go ahead and add another guy to that, right? Because he wants him, like he's interested in him." So he's like, "All right, I'll think about it." He goes out and gets Jawan Johnson. I just absolutely couldn't believe it.
That hurt.
Welcome,
That's,
welcome,
that's
Jenna. Jenna
bizarre.
said, "Yo," and apparently somebody almost burnt cookies. Rhino said,
Oh
"That's no
no.
good." All right, let's move on. We're at about the 40-minute mark here. We'll go for about 20 more minutes. If you're still with us, thank you very much for joining the show. As always, make sure you hit that like button, hit that share button, tag a few friends. Maybe I'll send you a sticker or something. And if we ever meet you at a bar, we'll buy you a beer. So make sure to do that. Tag a few friends. Let us know. All right, jump into the next guy. This one, it just kind of confuses me. I'm kind of mad about it because I know you're a Monty owner. I know you own David Montgomery in multiple leagues.
Yeah.
I own him in 2. So I'm pretty pissed off about this one because I didn't see this coming, and now I don't know what to do. Why don't you let us
Um.
know who it is?
I mean, I knew I did pick him up, and then I dropped him immediately in the league of record because I was like, how much work's he really gonna get? Well, as it turns out, Khalil Herbert and Damian Williams are 1A, 1B, full on 50-50 split while Montgomery's out. At least this week, that's what happened. They were basically identical, except Williams scored.
Yeah,
Um, so that's huge. What if Herbert this week ends up the one that scores? I mean, that team is gonna run. They're built to run the ball in this offense right now. I don't think they want Justin Fields to have to do too much. They ran the ball 34 times, and I know the Raiders are just terrible against the run, but that's definitely going to be what they want to do. It's their bread and butter. So Khalil Herbert, Damian Williams, they're both going to be flex pieces while Montgomery's out,
mm.
depending on the matchup. Maybe
I mean, to be
maybe
fair
not.
though, Kev, we were planning on Damian Williams. He was supposed to be an RB2 immediately.
I mean, he was.
Yeah, he was.
He was.
He was.
He
But
did what
now
you
he's
needed him to do,
not.
but Herbert ended up having 2 more rush attempts. Williams had the 3 targets, but Khalil Herbert had 18 rush attempts, 75 yards. Williams had 16 for 64 in the touchdown. They both ran really well. So at this rate, if you spent all of your fab on Damian Williams, it might not have been the best idea because there's another kid right behind him who's they're either going to split or Herbert might take more of the work as we
It
go
could.
on. He looked really good, so we're
Don't
going to
know.
see how that goes. I think it's just going to be kind of like this. They're going to try to run the ball 30 times a game, pretty much even split, and both those guys could be flex plays while Montgomery's out. That's the way I'm looking at it right now. But with the way fantasy has been this year, it could be all Damian Williams next week. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know how to decipher it, but if you're down a guy and you need a running back, go ahead and get him because running backs are always and forever will be valuable. Next guy on the list, we'll talk about him a little bit. That's Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, the kid had a pretty good game. I think I took him in 4 best ball leagues out of 10. And he didn't have a horrible week this week. I think that Jared Goff is going to continue to like him more and more throughout the season. I know we were comparing him to Robert Woods, right? Who finally had his game this week. Thank the Lord. I don't think he'll quite get to that level with Jared Goff or with this team just yet. It's not like he had a ton of points, but he was serviceable, right? 13 and a half, right? This week and 13 last week. He's getting targeted more.
Heavily
Eight
targeted.
yeah,
2 games in a row,
eight
right?
targets. Yeah, 2 games in a row. He's got 8 targets. So and he's around that 10 yards per reception mark, which is wicked important, right? For a guy like him, because that's who he should be. He's an immediate pickup for me. He should be owned already. If you're still holding on to a guy like Elijah Moore, then I don't know how to help you. But yeah, for me, he's one of those rookies that like I'm holding on to him. I may not be playing him unless I'm in a deeper league, uh, but yeah, no, I'm definitely picking him up. We just did receive a question, Kev, from a Mr. Noah Morin. Thanks for joining us, Noah. Make sure to like and share for us if you can, man. Trade question for you guys. Someone just offered D-Hop and Gesicki for Deontay Johnson and Dalton Schultz. Why don't you take that? I'm guessing he's getting D-Hop and Gesicki. Yeah, you take that first because I think I know what my answer is going to be.
So he's getting DeAndre Hopkins.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. I think you got to do it then.
Yep, 100%. I
love Deontay, but this D-Hop, they struggled all day against the 49ers until the last drive. 2 big plays, including the touchdown to their best player. Just put the ball in your best player's hands, especially in the red zone. The guy has the best hands in the league.
Easily.
You need to target him more. Why is Christian Kirk out there getting, and AJ Green, the ghost of AJ Green, getting all these targets? I mean, let this man win in the jump balls. I don't know. There's a couple games where there was some questionable decisions. I think he was getting frustrated. You could kind of see it after the touchdown. So I would take the DeAndre Hopkins side because I just think he's the best player, and Gesicki will provide you with solid enough PPR value. Schultz, I know Schultz has been getting plenty of looks as well, but I think those 2 are pretty close. So I just give me a D-Hop over Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, 100%. So we'll get into this segment in a little bit, Noah. But we're doing a couple of buy lows, sell highs, and I'll just say right now, one of my buy lows is DeAndre Hopkins. People are going to start to freak out about him when people should be freaking out about Calvin Ridley. In regards to tight end, listen, I'll be the first to tell you, you can figure that shit out. Look at Parham Jr. right now. Nobody's going to even talk about him this week, right? But he's still a guy he's 6'9", like he's going to get targeted. Gesicki's still a top 10 tight end. You're still getting value. Tight ends are trash anyway. So, Mark Andrews finally had like a week this week. Like he scored like half of his points this week. So, he's the number 2 tight end on the year, right? In PPR, he's got like 85 points. He scored 43
I'm pretty
last
sure
night?
that 42 has got to be, that's the number 1 tight end scorer all season, right?
Oh yeah, it has to be because Travis Kelce only
is.
has 90 points. So there's no way, and he gets points every week. So yeah, as much as I love Dalton Schultz too, he's the number 4 tight end on the year. you're still getting huge production from DeAndre Hopkins in these games coming up. There's no way it's going to continue like this. So buy low, take that deal, and have a massive day with DeAndre Hopkins. At some point, he's going to be the guy. He's just too good. He's just too good. So
he was the most targeted receiver this week. It didn't seem like they really clicked until the end of the game, and they need to just focus on. I know you can't just key in on them all the time because they can double them up and everything, but just get the ball to your best players.
Yeah,
it's that simple.
Yeah, I'd have to agree, and he's the best receiver in the league, so it's gonna happen. So thanks for the question, Noah. Appreciate you stopping by, bud. All right, next guy we got. I'm gonna let you talk a little bit about him. Ricky Seals-Jones. Why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, he's made a career resurgence. I think wasn't he supposed to be a thing like 3-4 years ago?
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. He was, man. There was some hype.
No, I'm not trying to be a dick. Yeah, no, like 3 or 4 years ago, he was supposed to be a thing. Yeah.
Hey, man. It's crazy though. The Logan Thomas role, it's a real thing. This offense likes to funnel some targets to the tight end position. You would expect, Logan Thomas goes out, maybe they'll kind of go away from that. But I mean, Seals-Jones steps in immediately, 8 targets, 5 for 41. Taylor Heinecke was saying he's comfortable with him. He's confident in him. Tight end's ugly, dude. If you need one, if you just lost Goddard to the COVID list, Seals-Jones is about as good as you're gonna get out there right now. And he plays the Chiefs. They haven't been able to stop anyone. They got Tyrann Mathieu just throwing his hands up, play after play at the safety, Sorensen, who just can't catch up to anybody right now. He's getting roasted almost every game. They need to figure that out if they're going to be a Super Bowl contender. But that's besides the point. I just think with the target volume there, with Logan Thomas out, you can take a shot on a guy like Seals-Jones. Sounds ugly, but it's the tight end position. It's like this every year.
Yep. Yeah, I'd agree. Take a chance. I mean, the Chiefs' defense is pretty much the worst defense in the league, statistically and otherwise. They have let up so many damn points to every single position. They're historically bad. They are historically bad, and they will continue to be so. They're the 5th worst team against the tight end. So, and the worst team against the QB. So we'll get into that a little bit too.
It's brutal out there.
No, they're just that bad. Alex had a question. He said, "Do I sell Ridley or keep him?" If you're selling him low, Alex. I'm having the same debate in one league. I have him in a dynasty league, so I'm not upset about it. In a dynasty league, but in a league like in a redraft league, yeah, it sucks. It's not good. So you're selling low. I mean, you're selling like T. Higgins low at this point.
This is as low as you're going to sell him too, because not only was he kind of disappointing the first 4 weeks, he doesn't play week 5, and now he's on a bye.
It's just not good, man.
They can't really get any worse than this.
Yeah, none of it is good. He also said, how are you guys doing lately? I love the streams. Well, we love that you love the streams, Alex. We're glad you've jumped upon the Buccaneer ship. We can't say the pirate ship. Too many people use that, right? So we're gonna have the spaceship. Are we a spaceship? Are we a spaceship to nowhere?
Yeah,
I don't know, man. We're a shuttle bus to nowhere. Yeah, no, we're good, Alex. It's been a rough year, as you know, but yeah, man. We'll continue. We got a couple more names here in the waivers, then we'll get into our buy low, sell highs quick. The next name is Hunter Henry, obviously becoming a red zone target in that offense. And Mac Jones has been playing really well, man. He's got a lot of completions. He's actually tied with how many 5 other guys for rookie completions in one season. So, yeah, happy for Hunter Henry. He's obviously making the jump aboard. I was definitely one of the haters compared to Jonnu Smith, right? I was definitely a Hunter Henry guy, but or a Jonnu Smith guy, but it seems like he's doing well enough where he can give you points. So, what do you say to that, Kev?
Yeah, I agree, man. 2 touchdowns 2 weeks in a row, 8 targets 2 weeks in a row. Seems like he's clearly the favorite over Jonnu. They're not really running as many of the designed sort of tight end screens or whatever I thought Jonnu was going to be seeing a little more of.
Agreed.
So I think if
Sucks.
once again, man, in this ugly tight end landscape, if you need a guy, Hunter Henry, if he's still there, someone you got to go grab.
Okay. Yeah, agreed. Alex turns 16 tomorrow. He's getting his permit, and he won in all 3 leagues this weekend. He says life's good right now. Hell yeah, Alex. Love to hear it, man. Happy for you.
That's a
For
big
for
week.
for a kid your age doing what you're doing, that's dope. Good stuff, man. Stay in school and say no to drugs. I think for liability reasons, we should probably say that every show. But last guy on the waiver priority, McCole Hardman, obviously had quite a week last week. I gotta tell you, I absolutely hate this guy because he's like Sammy Watkins to me. Like, I don't think he'll ever score as many points as Sammy used to. Like in week one, he used to get like 45 points a year every single week one. And I just bought into it way too hard all the time. But he had a good week, probably, definitely the best week of his season. They've got Clyde Edwards-Helaire out now. 12 targets, 9 receptions, 76 yards. No tutty, but that's okay when you're getting targets like that. 16.6 points. I mean, that's a more than serviceable week.
Yeah, man. And this is the second time he's gotten at least 8 targets. I think defenses are almost starting to they're selling out to stop Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, and they need someone else. I don't think it's gonna be Josh Gordon. I don't think really Hardman's good enough to even be that guy either. But while he's getting these kind of targets, you gotta at least have him on your bench just in case he becomes a legit option in that passing game. The 3 matchups they have coming up now are cupcake matchups. So I think
Yeah.
these might just be Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce absolutely blowing up kind of weeks, but
Yeah. I
if
mean,
you got
any
to
week can
stop
kind of
for
be
him.
like that, but
Right. These these
but no, I
these
I
don't look
agree.
like they might need McCole Hardman for them. And Tyreek should eat against these teams.
Yep. Yeah, I'd have to agree. I do have one stream option that I wanted to bring up, and then we'll get into the buy low, sell highs quick. Although I did mention one before. I guess I'll get into my sell highs after that. But one streaming option. Listen, if you're a Russell Wilson owner, you're a Daniel Jones owner, and you're looking for a streamable guy, there's no way Sam Darnold's still on the table. I highly doubt even Jameis Winston's out there. Even if he is, I don't know if I would quite play him. The guy for me, Kev, as crazy as it may seem, is Taylor Heinecke. Now he has been okay throughout most of the season. He's playing against. The thing for me is he's playing against Kansas City. They're just that bad. They're the worst team against the quarterback. And you may say, Seamus, I think you're a crazy person that you think a man named Tyler Heinecke could do this. But he definitely can. He's finished as a top 10 QB multiple times this year.
He's done it 3 weeks in a
So
row, man.
yeah, 3 weeks in a row. So
20
like
weeks.
it's definitely not crazy. And he could very well again finish as a top 10 QB. His efficiency has been, I would say, average, right? I don't think it's great. It's definitely not poor or awful. It's definitely average, but he's finished the QB 12, the QB 9, the QB 5. And last week against New Orleans, I think everyone's kind of struggled against them. So yeah, if you need a guy this week, that's who I'm picking up. Because Sam Darnold's not going to be available. Joe Burrow's not going to be available against Detroit. Most of these guys are not available. Taylor Heinecke is. So go pick him up
Yeah,
and play him.
I like that
I'm going to be
call.
playing him. So
I like that. 3 in this league with the 6-point passing touchdowns. He's had 27, 20, 28, 27, 34. Those 3 weeks we talked about. 2 of them are, really solid matchups. So I think he's a guy that he's the definition of a stream. You don't want to start him in, a red matchup. One of the bottom matchups. A team that's really good against quarterbacks, obviously, but the definition of a streamer, especially with I don't know what's going on in Kansas City right now, but they can't stop anybody. I
yeah.
might have to start him. I might start him over Kirk Cousins this week.
Well, against Kirk, who they have? Cincinnati? No, they have
Carolina.
Carolina. Oh God, I don't know about that, Kev.
That's a good defense.
It's a good. That's a damn good defense, bro.
They're decent. And they 13 his last 2 weeks, 13 points, 16 points. And that's in a 6-point passing touchdown league as well.
Shit. Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't know if I can trust him.
No, I think
I
I'd
don't
play Taylor
know.
Heinecke. I would. I think I would play Heinecke.
That's gonna be a decision I make later in
Shit.
the week. It's
Yeah.
on the team that doesn't even matter anymore anyway. That's
We're
bad.
only 5 weeks through.
So
Calm down, would you?
I could have Patrick Mahomes and this team would lose by 1,000,000 regardless. Like it doesn't even matter who my quarterback is. The rest of the team is just
Poo poo lao
not
lao.
getting it done, bro.
That's fair. We all have those teams. When you're in like 7 to 10 leagues, that tends to
It
happen. You're not
happens.
going to win all of them.
And
So
some luck that just doesn't go your way with injuries and whatever happened with Brandon Ayuk this year.
right, yeah, no. All right. Well, listen. Do you have any streams other than him? I think we can both agree on Taylor Heinecke for this week. But any plugs that you have that you think you can play, whether they be tight end or, I mean, is it just had a siren go on behind me? My apologies. Is it Ricky Seals Jones?
Yeah, you want to go? Let's go to Washington. Stack.
Yeah, you're stacking them.
Let's do it. We'll do a
All
little DFS stack. Taylor Heineke, Ricky Seals Jones. We'll throw Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelsey in the flex.
I might
Let's stack
just
that
choose
game. We'll just
all.
stack that game, dude.
Might just play all Washington football team players, to be honest with you, against this Chiefs defense. Might spend the money on Terry McLaurin, but
Then you bring the Chiefs back in it. You got to have Hill and Kelsey in the lineup, and then stack the rest of the football team. And they got a 55.5 point over under. So those are the kind of games you want to target for
yeah,
sure.
that's fair. I like that call. All right, great. Listen, we got about 5 minutes left.
I do have another one though, Moose. Real quick,
Go ahead. Yeah.
Miles Gaskin. After what he did last week, start him again.
Fuck.
Jaguars
Kev.
cannot stop the run. They can't stop anybody.
Kev, I sat him in 4 leagues.
Yeah, I sat him in 2. I feel the pain.
You couldn't drop him though, right? We've been talking about it for
No.
weeks. You can't drop him, but you can't play
10
him.
catches, dude. It doesn't make any sense. The usage was completely different. But I would say against the Jaguars, you got to try to get him into your flex this week.
All right. All right. I'll listen to you. All right. I know you're
Trying,
right.
what? You'll go out to London and lay an egg, but you tried your best, right?
Yeah, sure. Sure. Oh, Rhino said that's got trap all over it. Yeah, well, you know what?
Ooh.
At this point, there's not many games that don't have a trap somewhere hidden in it. All right, let's move on to our last segment. If you're still here, thanks for watching the show. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that share button. Make sure to follow all our socials. Buy low, sell high. I told you guys my buy low earlier. It was DeAndre Hopkins. The other name I had written down was Robert Woods. However, I'm not quite certain that you can buy him low after this last performance. I think everybody's going to be back on the Robert Woods train. Obviously, he was the guy last year. Cooper Kupp is now surged into a wide receiver 1 spot, the wide receiver 1 spot. So if you can still get Robert Woods low, I would do it. And maybe you can sell high on a few guys. in order to do so. But Smirks, let's go over to your buy low candidate.
Yeah, he hasn't played a game yet, so I'm not sure exactly how low you can really buy him because
Oh, I wish we had a soundboard. How low can you go, man?
right. I don't
Luda.
know what you got to start sending offers for Michael Thomas because what we're seeing out of the Saints is they need him. Callaway without that Hail Mary, it's just meh. Deontay Harris is just a guy that might beat the defense deep every once in a while. They need Michael Thomas, and if they're not trading him, obviously they maybe I mean not obviously they could still trade him this year, but I think he comes back and just steps right into his role. He's clearly the one of the best receivers in football when he's on the field. And you got to start sending out some offers.
How low are you going?
I don't have him anywhere, so I honestly don't even know what I would take. But there's got to if you can send one of your guys like a Fournette maybe.
Oh, you're sending Fournette?
You've got other running backs. There's Michael
Yeah,
Thomas.
it's Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas.
It's Michael Thomas.
They need him. Marquez Callaway is my sell high because after the 2 touchdown performance, the little Hail Mary action. I mean, he other than this week, I think if you can sell him on the back of this 2 touchdown week, you can go ahead and do that.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, we've gotten a lot of Michael Thomas questions, trade questions in the last few weeks. I think people are trying to buy him a little bit too high for what we've been seeing. So let us know if you're interested in Michael Thomas. Definitely hit us up. Go on any of our social media platforms. You can hit us up directly, and we'll let you know what we think about it. Now let's get into our sell high. Now I have 2 names written down here. I'm not entirely sure which one I want to talk about, but I think I'm going to talk about Kadarius Toney. Now, as much as I think he could be a part of this offense in the future, I don't necessarily trust Jason Garrett at all. He's just a nicer, less racist John Gruden to me. So I am gonna try to sell Kadarius Toney if I have him and if I can afford it. I'll sell him high. Obviously we talked about it, half PPR the wide receiver 29 week 4, wide receiver 7 this week. He's obviously a very talented football player. Let's not get it twisted. He had Trey Diggs on skates. So he's obviously super good, but just with the caveat that Shepard, Slayton, and Galladay are pretty much out and have been out. I just foresee this becoming a mess, dude. To be honest with you, I'm not necessarily saying he won't have a good rest of the season. I'm not saying he's going to disappear. But it may decline his value in 4 weeks when you could try to go out and get something for him. So if you know any Giants fans in your league that are willing to pay a little bit more for him, I would go and try to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I like him, but you pretty much hit the nail on the head. Still the Giants, and when those other guys are back on the field, where is he gonna be in the pecking order? I mean, he's not gonna see the double-digit targets every. I don't think he will anyway, just because the coaching
Right.
staff they're inept at their job. So it wouldn't shock me to see. I said it before. Slayton goes out there and just starts playing ahead of him again, and they give him some time to mature or whatever they're gonna say.
I mean, to
It
be
would
fair,
it
dude,
would
that's what
shock
we've
me.
seen all year, like with these bullshit coaches, like Miles Gaskin and Brian Flores. Like Brian Flores, honestly, can't suck a duck. Like I'm so mad. I'm so angry at these coaches, and he's one of them. I just don't trust it, man. I don't trust any of these guys anymore. I think I have become a skeptic with these guys that were. I mean, I picked him up in one league and I didn't play him, and I don't know what to do with him moving forward. So I don't think anybody will let me sell him in that particular league. They just like the trades have just not been there for the most part. But yeah, so Kadarius Toney, hold on to him or sell him as high as you can. But if you're not going to get anything for him, I'd probably just hold him.
Right. You don't want to drop him.
No, definitely not. All right, one last sell high, Kev, and then we're gonna wrap this up. So who's your sell high man? Who do you have? Do you have a piece of this guy? Do you not? Do you just think he's the guy that you would probably say
I mean, I
sayonara
just
to?
already I kind of already mentioned it. Like
You kind of did.
on the back of the 2-touchdown game, was one of his higher target efforts of the year. With Michael Thomas coming back, I think whatever you can get for Callaway, you might as well go get it now. I just think once Thomas comes back healthy, he's going to be the focal point, him and Kamara. Like we've seen, when Michael Thomas was healthy and dominating on the field 2 years ago, there was no other relevant receiver for the Saints. So that's the kind of player he is. Him and Kamara, the offense goes through them. I know this is Jameis Winston. He's not Drew Brees, but he knows how to feed his best player. He certainly fed Mike Evans enough. And
That's
then
fair.
sort of at the end there, it was Chris Godwin for like a year. Godwin and Evans kind of both got it, but Callaway is not Chris Godwin. So to me,
Yeah.
is you can get whatever you can get for him after this week. Go ahead and do that with
Okay.
Michael Thomas return looming.
Okay. Yeah, I'd have to agree. He was going to be on my list too. He's touchdown dependent, and he's not a tight end, so that doesn't really help you in a ton of ways. All right, one final question, then we're going to wrap this up. This one is iffy because I think this guy can finish top 12 rest of the season. But given the way this team has looked on offense, it's hard to tell if this is a sign of things to come or a blip on the radar. I can't tell. Kyle Pitts, are you selling him high or are you holding him?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
I'm holding. They figured out how to use him. I mean, the offense ran more efficiently without Calvin Ridley than it did with him, which is just nonsense to me that they can't figure it out with their best receiver on the field. But this should only help. Like you line Kyle Pitts up as a wide receiver, that's what he's going to be. He's not your Hayden Hurst should be your tight end, and you just move Pitts out. He's a wide receiver. It is what it is. Most
Okay.
of his snaps are going to be out wide, and he should be getting that kind of usage. And it took 5 weeks, but this is what everyone expected, and it's what can happen week in, week out with a guy that's talented. I would not sell him unless, I mean, what would you take for him? I mean,
RB, an RB 1 or 2. Kareem Hunt. I would take Kareem Hunt for Kyle Pitts. like I would reach for it. Yeah, absolutely.
it depends on what else you got. I know you
All right,
said earlier
let's say
figure
that you
shit
have
out at
Kyle
tight end,
Pitts.
but
Let's say you have Kyle Pitts, right? You drafted him high, you've held on to him, but you haven't liked his production, so you went and picked up Dalton Schultz or Dawson Knox. Like, are you selling Pitts as high
sure,
as you
if
can?
you have one of those guys, go ahead.
Okay.
Get any running back you can get for
Okay.
him, like one of those, like a Kareem Hunt for sure.
Would you try to get like a Jamar Chase?
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't think anybody's selling Jamar Chase right now.
Yeah, no, and they probably shouldn't be either, but
Right.
all right, cool. All right. Well, listen, we went through a bunch of stuff tonight. We had some great viewership, had some great questions. It's a pretty slow Tuesday after a vacation day, so if you weren't able to make it to the entire show, go on to our YouTube, look up the Fantasy Dads on YouTube, and you can watch the entire show there, or you can watch it through Facebook. But Facebook is slow as hell, so I do personally recommend going over to YouTube and looking it up there. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you guys like all of our social platforms if you can. It helps us out a lot. Right now on TikTok, we have a few videos, like I said, that are just absolutely blowing up. Kev had really, really funny one about the mid-tier wide receivers this year, and man, does some of it hurt. But we just hit the 1150 mark, and we had over 60,000 likes. And like I said, just under a couple of months. So it's awesome. We're here to make funny content. Fantasy is supposed to be fun as much as it stresses me out week to week. I have been getting a little better, to be fair. When you have 7 teams, it's like, well, this is gambling. Like, this is betting. Like, this is sports betting at this point. Like, you kind of take your losses on the chin, but the first 4
There's no
weeks is
way,
turning.
there's no way all 7 are just going to be dominant. Luck of the draw can't happen that way.
No, even if you drafted the same exact team for all of them, they could still all be shit.
It
Like,
depends
it
on
could just be one team.
who you play against each week.
Yep. Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
part
It's
of it you
just
can't control at all.
no, you can't. So, it takes a couple of weeks every single year for me to get used to it again. But awesome show, Kevo. Like we said, thanks for coming out. Thanks for being a part of the show. We'll be back on Thursday, but Wednesday, day. We'll check in with him and we'll make sure what he's doing, and we'll make sure to get a note out to everybody. Other than that, man, hope you guys had a good week 5. The seasons just start to go faster and faster as we get older, but we'll take it one week at a time, and we'll be me and I'll be back on Thursday, and otherwise we have the show Sunday, and then tomorrow with Rhino, we will keep you guys updated on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course TikTok. Anything else you got to say, Kev?
I think we just about covered it, man. Good show.
All right. Well, that was another Transaction Tuesday, and we'll see you guys next week. Otherwise, follow our shit and get on the streams up until Sunday.
Yes, sir.